What up? It's your boy T-Burn Reaction. Today is Music Money. About to check out a video from the homie L Train Loop Kitchen. Shout out to that boy as well too though. Talk about one of the most iconic drum machine that shaped the sound of music till this day. That is none other than the Roland 808. And mostly was reshaped the sound of hip hop as well too, as well as other genre too, but most mostly hip hop. A lot of hip hop use this for to get stuff started with a sound as well too, changing the sound and style of hip hop from live bands to electronic machines. That being said, we're gonna look at this video from Loop Kitchen about the infamous 808. Let's get it. Let's get it.
There have been plenty of machines that have helped shape the sound of hip-hop, but none have had the impact or the longevity of the Roland TR-808.
TR-808. Yup.
A cheap demo tool from Japan, rejected by musicians at first, that ended up shaping generations of sound.
Wow.
From Marvin Gaye to Miami bass, Planet Rock to Kanye West. This is how a failed drum machine went on to conquer
Egyptian
the world.
lover.
The story of rhythm boxes goes all the way back to the 1930s, when inventors began building mechanical rhythm machines designed to imitate a drummer's pulse. By the 1950s, organs started including them. Preset loops for waltzes, foxtrots, and other dance rhythms. But it's the late 60s we want to zoom in on, when Hammond partnered with a small Japanese firm called Ace Tone, run by an engineer from Osaka named Ikutaro Kakahashi. He'd already been experimenting with ways to make accompaniment automatic.
Early stage organ have a 3 or 4 button, then play by hand. Melody, bongo, why not automatic?
Out of that idea came the Rhythm
Rhythm
Ace,
Ace,
one of the first mass-produced drum boxes. It was designed for lounge players.
This we hear this. Remember I wrote the video about the beatbox that Questlove has. This is because we run to one of the early beatboxers right here.
But most musicians ignored it. In California though, Don Lewis, a former Air Force nuclear weapons specialist turned musician, took an interest. He loved the concept but not the rhythms. So he bought one, opened it up and started rewiring it.
I had modified all the rhythms inside because none of the rhythms in the Ace Tone made any sense to me for the kind of music that I was trying to produce.
In 1969, he was invited to perform for Hammond at the NAMM show, showing off his newly customized rhythm box. By chance, in the audience that day was Ikutaro Kakahashi himself.
Afterwards, he came up and looked at me and he says, "That looks like my rhythm unit, but it doesn't sound like it. What did you do to it?" We became instant friends because he saw that I saw something of worth in using it when most musicians were not using rhythm boxes at that time.
That meeting sparked a friendship and collaboration that would last decades.
Nice.
During that whole period of time, I said, every time I want to change a rhythm or add a new pattern, I have to go inside and get my soldering gun and put diodes and switches and so forth.
I know it's gotta be. That's crazy that a lot of people took a lot of that. Hey, you're still doing it later on. Well, not probably soldering, but like, you know, put in different chips on the older machine later on before the MPC was invented as well too. So yeah, where you can just put like disc easily fixed with a disc, but still it's crazy though as well too, especially the old school emulator, those were SPs before SP1200s. But yes.
You need programmable rhythm.
Inside Ace Tone, Kakahashi didn't feel he could build the kind of machines that he dreamed of.
I sold my share, then start Roland from zero.
Under Roland, Kakahashi's vision started to grow.
Wow.
By the mid-70s, the company released the MC8 microcomposer, one of the first machines that let musicians program and sequence entire songs digitally.
Nice.
Then in 1978,
Yeah, I
Roland
seen
unveiled
that.
the CR78.
Yeah.
At first glance, it looked like just another rhythm box, but for the first time, you could write, save, and replay your own patterns. It became a popular machine in pop music, used by big hitters like Phil Collins and Blondie.
We were
Okay.
in Japan in 1978, and Roland gave us the first three off the production line of the CR78s, and I didn't want one at the time because I was a drummer, but I found that when I got home I used the CR78 quite a lot. It was a very tricky machine to use, but it did form the basis of In the Air Tonight.
In the air, yeah. Yep.
By the end of the 70s, drum machines were evolving fast. Roger Lynn was developing the LM1, a digital sampler promising the most realistic drum sounds anyone had ever heard. But at nearly $5,000, it was out of reach for most musicians. Takahashi had a different vision, a rhythm machine that was affordable, expressive, and accessible to everyone. That vision became the blueprint for Roland's next creation, the TR-808.
Nice.
In 1980, Roland began developing a new kind of rhythm machine, aimed at helping musicians to make demos. Something cheap enough to sit in a small studio, but good enough that real drummers could later replay the parts. Leading the project was engineer Tadao Kikumoto, alongside Makoto Mori, Hiro Nakamura, and Hisanori Matsuwaka. However, straight away they hit a problem. To make something that sounded realistic, they needed to use sampled recordings of real drums. And in 1980, memory chips to store those sounds were far too expensive. Instead of recording real drums, they decided to build their own using synthesis. As Kikumoto stated, it was not about mimicking real sounds, but about providing possibilities to create ideal sound. During production, Roland sourced a batch of transistors that had been rejected as out of spec. Parts that technically worked, but produced unpredictable results.
In that time, they make 10,000 transistors, probably 2% to 3% defect. This defect transistor making noise. Rejected. Good one for sale. Bad one throw away. I purchased this defect transistor. This is a sizzling sound source.
That imperfection, that sizzle, would become the 808 soul. Then came the bass drum.
Oh, here we go.
Nothing would resonate the speakers like the
Molly Moore.
808 kick opened up.
Yep.
A simple sine wave that divided opinion inside the company,
Yep.
as Kikumoto described. Internally, people who preferred acoustic drums said the long decay wasn't needed. They warned, the market may think Roland doesn't understand drums. When the TR-808 Rhythm Composer launched in 1980,
Who would have thought that the one that will be the layer, the official layer on a lot of sound, was the reason that almost got rejected, that kind of got rejected. Crazy, right? That boom, the infamous 808 sound is the reason why I almost got, that low bass sound is the reason why I almost got rejected. Wow.
it cost around $1,195. But it wasn't an instant success. Most musicians thought it sounded too artificial. There were a few early adopters though, like Yellow Magic Orchestra.
Okay, ooh. That sound good. They knew that go, man.
And Roland quietly moved on to new projects. But few realised that this failed rhythm box was about to spark something far bigger. By 1982, a handful of producers were beginning to realise what the 808 was truly capable of. In New York, Arthur Baker and Africa Bambaataa were about to turn this strange little machine into the heartbeat of a new movement.
And we decided we needed a drum machine. The studio didn't have one. So basically, we went on the Village Voice looking for a guy with a drum machine. And I called him up. He said, I have a Roland 808. He brought it in. Me and Bambaataa did the beats, and he inputted them into the 808.
That borrowed drum machine became the foundation of Planet Rock.
I'd go to Music Factory just to listen and get inspired. I'm listening, and then this record comes on, and I was like, what the fuck record was that?
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, bro, it's Numbers by Kraftwerk.
Oh.
This is what I was looking for without knowing it. I've never heard a beat like that.
However, it took something convincing to get the group on board. Coming off the back of Jazzy Sensation,
Wow.
felt like a wild left turn.
The first night we cut the track, the rappers were there and they hated it. They didn't know what to do with it. Planet Rock was like 120.
Crazy though. I guess like I said, a lot of people wasn't adapted to change yet, because for a while hip hop artists was doing live band stuff. So yeah, I guess he wasn't ready for the change the sound yet. So that's interesting.
And it's sort of a halftime thing. The rappers didn't know how to sit in the beat.
While Planet Rock redefined hip hop in New York, across the Atlantic, another legend was discovering the 808 for himself. Fresh off his split from Motown, Marvin Gaye was beginning work on a new album and searching for that new sound.
Marvin did tell me that it was going to be with drum machine and synthesizer, so the TR-808 and a Jupiter 8. He planned to do a lot himself, and he wanted to have some control so he could spend time doing the recording without getting too many other guys to come in and play.
And just as Roland had envisioned, Marvin wanted to use the machine to eliminate the need for other musicians.
Wow.
It is quite a cold way of working with electronic instruments. And then everything happened when he put the vocal down. It warmed the whole track up and it all made sense.
The song was Sexual Healing, Marvin Gaye's triumphant comeback and his first ever Grammy win, led by that unmistakable 808 groove. Out on the West Coast, Egyptian Lover was taking inspiration from Planet Rock and bringing the 808 into a live setting for the first time.
When I heard Planet Rock, it was the best sounding drum that I ever heard in my life. So I bought the 808, filled it with a bunch of beats, took it to the next Uncle Jam's Army Sports Arena party, and everybody was screaming, "What record is that?" They were just partying for like 8 minutes to just a drum machine.
By 1983, the 808 had already shaped a few of the biggest records in the world, but its time in production was over. Roland had run out the special transistors that gave it its distinctive sound and chose to cease production. Stores began slashing prices to clear their remaining stock, and soon those same boxes were showing up in pawn shops, selling for next to nothing. For a new generation of DJs and bedroom producers, it was just the beginning. From New York to Miami, they were discovering that this so-called toy drum machine could be the sound of this burgeoning new genre.
The fact that these producers found the 808 in pawn shops and this sound was almost like a rebel call, a revolution.
In 1983,
yeah,
a student named Rick Rubin was living in a dorm room at NYU when he chanced upon one of these mythical drum machines.
Oh my God.
And Speedy's lived in my dorm room and I borrowed his.
It's so weird seeing Rick Rubin with no beard. Oh my God. Let me look at that again. Wow, he looks so crazy without the beard.
Mythical drum machine.
But yeah.
The guitar player in Speedy's lived in my dorm room and I borrowed his drum machine. It was really easy to program. I still don't really know the right way to program it. I know how I programmed it because I didn't have the instruction manual, so I just found a way to make the sound come out.
From that dorm room, Rubin began carving out raw, minimalist beats, stripping hip-hop back to its bare essentials. Originally hoping to work with the Treacherous Three, Rubin was introduced to Tila Rock through his brother Special K.
I went downtown to meet Rick Rubin, and I remember we met at NYU. Rick played this beat for me and blew me away, and that was It's Yours.
Yep. Get it straight. Yep.
It's Yours paired Tila Rock with Jazzy J and dropped in 1984. A record that would lay the foundation for Def Jam's sound. And
yes,
the bass,
sir.
It hit like nothing else at the time.
In our search for bass, I think we were in a 16-track studio, and I think 6 of the tracks of the 16-track were all the kick drum.
Within a year, that same raw formula powered records by Run DMC, LL Cool J, and the Beastie Boys.
Looking for a girl, I ran into a guy. His name is MCA. I said howdy, he said hi.
Redefining what hip hop could sound like. 1,000 miles south, that same sound was evolving into something new. In Miami, DJs were obsessed with making the floor and the cars outside shake, blending electro records like Planet Rock with local funk and party anthems. They started chasing the biggest, deepest bass.
My man, the whole SP1200 was set though. That's crazy. Shout out to Mr. Mix though, yo.
From the
The way people were dancing on the dance floor was like 4 or 5 elements that everybody was on the page of, and I just put it in a big old gumbo pot. That's kind of what became the blueprint for Miami Bay, using samples, scratches, 808 drum machine. Those were the main elements to make those type of records.
Records like Bass Rock Express throw the D.
Here we go.
Defined the birth of Miami bass. And soon other cities were finding their own 808 rhythms. In Detroit, a new wave of producers were using the 808 to create colder, futuristic machine rhythms, what would soon become techno. In Chicago, DJs fused the squelch of the TB-303 to spark an entirely new sound. House.
Yep.
And across Britain, its kick was the sound of the raves. But the next leap for the 808 would come from somewhere even less expected. Right, time for a quick break before we jump
This is how I'm going to do this.
Here at Loop Kitchen, we cook up melodic, soulful sample packs, perfect under an 808 beat or whatever you're cooking.
Okay, here we go.
And here's one we made earlier.
Ooh. Nice.
Right now, all our packs are buy one, get one free with the code GREAT08. And if you're a producer or beatmaker looking for a community of like-minded people, come and join our Discord. We've got feedback channels, beat battles, and lots of friendly chat. And the links to all of those are in the description. Through the 90s, the 808 never truly went away. By the early 2000s, producers like DJ Paul and Juicy J, Lil Jon and Manny Fresh had taken the sound digital, loading 808 samples into MPCs and early doors to get that deep, chest-rattling low end. The 808 kit had become part of hip-hop's DNA. Then in 2008, Kanye West took that name and that sound to a whole new level with 808s and Heartbreak. But once again, he wasn't using the original machine.
We brought the 808 just to be authentic once I named the album. And that was like a piece of shit. The 909 was much better.
Oh, wow.
The 808s we used on the album were sampled, especially because we were pitching them.
Nice, but still.
In the years that followed, track producers like Lex Luger.
I wanted to do something about the 909 being hip hop. Mainly used by Mantronics, though. That'd be nice, though. That'd be the next one he does soon.
We got Metro Boomin and 808
Metro Boom, Metro Moon, nigga.
Same idea and ran with it, sliding, bending, and distorting digital 808s into the sound we know today.
Yep.
4 decades after its release, the TR-808 is revered as one of hip-hop's most important machines. Every August 8th, producers around the world celebrate 808 Day with remixes, live sets, and tributes to the rhythm that changed everything. In 2013, Roland's founder Iketoro Kakahashi received a Grammy Award for technical achievement. Today, it's one of the most emulated instruments in history, reborn in plugins, sample packs, and countless clones.
You can have any kind of drums in the world, but you gotta have an 808 kick in your record.
It started as a cheap demo machine. 40 years later, it's the heartbeat of modern music. And if you like stories like this, hit the playlist on screen to check out more in our Behind the Record series, exploring the producers, albums, machines, and samples that...
Cool. There you have it, though. Yeah, 808. Other than that, if you like my reaction to this, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel, though. Yeah, definitely a good little history lesson on one of the most iconic musical instrument, electronic musical instrument that started out, that was kind of like paved the way in electronic music, especially within hip hop as well too. What that signature sound as well too. Other than that, if you like my reaction, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's your boy T-Bird signing off. One love.